Friends, this is part 2 of the master trip. In part 1, we already discussed the answers to all the red-marked questions. In part 2, we'll discuss the blue markings. And we'll also discuss how all the master trips available on the market work. If you haven't seen part 1 of the master trip, please do so to clarify some of the basic fundamentals and gain a better understanding of how the master trip relay works. So, friends, let's begin part 2 of the Master Blaster Relay Master Trip. Friends, this is an ABB Master Trip Relay. You may have seen it in many places. It's a PLA relay type, also known as a contact multiplier. Right? So, you'll find master trips or PLA relays from many AB manufacturers. There are different versions. Every AB master trip relay is a version of it. Some have 4 no's, 3 NC's, some have 5 no's, some have 6 no's, right? Some have 7 no's and 0 NC's. What are your requirements? How many NC's do you need? How many no's do you need? Friends, the purchase of a master trip relay must match our requirements. Suppose you want to purchase a master delay relay, we first need to determine what we're purchasing it for. Are we purchasing it for a transformer, a transmission line, or a feeder? Because, for example, a transformer has many elements. So, we need more context for many things. Right? We need it for interlocking. We also need it for the relay's inputs. So, there are many things we need to keep in mind when purchasing a master trip relay. We can purchase it, we can install it. For example, we'll talk about this master trip relay. So here are A and B. This is the coil, friends. And to analyze the coil, we need positive and negative. This 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, these are all contacts. This one is no. Where there is a symbol like this, we call it NC. That means it is a close contact. This is open. This 7, 8, this 9, 10, that is close. 11, 12 again open. 13, 14 open. 15, 16, this is our on-no contact. So when this master trip relay is in open condition, it is not in the operated condition right now. It is open. That means it has not operated. It has not tripped. Only negative is given here. Positive has not come. So in this condition, you have to see this drawing. Okay? So, you will know which connection to make where. As soon as my positive comes from where, then any relay will come from. It will come from the differential relay, the bookhole relay, or the overcurrent relay. So, as soon as the positive here becomes negative, we already have to supply it from the panel. Okay, so, the negative is already from the panel. If the positive comes from any relay, then the contacts here will change. So, 34 is currently no. If this one is no, what will it become? It will become NC. And 5 and 7 are NC, they will become no. So, we can use it this way, friends. So, let's say we supplied 34 to TC1, 7 and 8 to TC2. Okay? 11 and 12 are inputs to it. Just as I mentioned in the last video, if we supplied the inputs of the master relay, we would get a very good drive. The disturbance recorder will be able to analyze and study it very well. Okay? If you need to do any interlocking, you can use this. If you need to do any NC, that means CB locking. Okay? You have to interlock the CB breaker so that when the master trip operates. Okay? So my breaker should not close. So for that also you can use these NC contacts so that as soon as the master trip operates, this 910 becomes no, then my breaker will not close. Let me tell you one thing here. You will see resistance here. Why is there resistance, friends? The resistance is that suppose this coil gets damaged, due to any reason, then our positive will come from here, negative will come from here, so the positive and negative will not be directly shorted. Otherwise, what will happen? Our fuse will blow, our protection DC supply will fail, friends. So, to protect that, we placed a high resistance here so that, assuming this coil fails, the positive and negative wires won't directly touch, they won't interact with each other. Friends, this is a very important question. What could happen if we aren't using the master trip relay? How could it be damaged in our system? What damage could occur to our relay? We'll discuss that in this question. Let's say this is our differential relay. Okay? And this is our CB, our breaker. What happens now is that when it trips, the negative current passes through the relay. Okay? And this relay's bow, which we call the binary output, is positive on one side. The second wire goes directly to the breaker's tripping coil, either TC1 or TC2. When the relay operates, the bow will be high, so this positive here, this contact will be no, so it will latch, and this positive will transfer here, tripping our TC12 trip coil, and this breaker will trip. This is a simple phenomenon. Okay? When a fault occurs, but let's say the breaker doesn't trip, what will happen, friends? If the breaker doesn't trip, it could cause a major problem. To whom? This relay. How? Let's understand. Let's say this is our tripping coil, okay? A tripping coil. What does a tripping coil consist of? If it exists, it has a resistance. How much voltage is there across the coil? So, our DC is 110 or 220, whichever is our system's voltage. So, 110 or 220, depending on our system, we will get any voltage across it. So, what happens is that V equals IR, so RE equals VR, right? So, current will flow across the coil. Finally, what will we get between the relay's contacts? V equals IR, meaning the current flowing through it plus the resistance. Right? This much voltage will be generated across the contacts. Why? Because our breaker isn't tripping. Could it be due to mechanical issues, DC issues, or a problem with the breaker itself? Right? The breaker isn't tripping for any reason. So, what will happen is that the relay will continuously issue commands because the fault will remain active. Our fault hasn't been cleared. Because of the fault, our relay will continue to issue commands. This omega will continue to go high. The breaker will continue to receive signals. The breaker won't trip here. Because of this, a very high voltage will be created within the relay's context. And these bow contacts, these binary output contacts, are very delicate and can't withstand high voltage, friends. Right? So our bow will be damaged. Secondly, our relays have limited binary outputs, which we use for many different things. Some for alarms, some for tripping, some for signaling, some for doctor. Whatever we use, we have limited outputs. Some have 5, some have 6, some have 7. If a breaker fails, and one of our binary outputs goes out each time, ultimately, it could be that this relay has no bow at all. So, this relay is useless. No matter how expensive a relay is, without binary outputs, it's useless. What do we use to prevent this from happening, friends? We'll use a master relay. So, the contact on the master relay is a heavy-duty contact. It's called a butt contact. Our numerical relay will give the command to the master relay, which will then give the command to the breaker. So, if the breaker isn't tripping, the master needs to look after it. Here, its beta will remain high until the fold is cleared. But, what will it travel across? It will travel across the master relay's resistance. Right? So, it won't have as much impact as the tripping coil. So, our relay's beta will be saved. Our relay won't be damaged. The numerical relay's life will be extended, and we can use it effectively without any problems. And the master relay is heavy duty. Even if the breaker doesn't trip, its contacts are so heavy that they can withstand high voltage. Therefore, installing a master trip relay is a very important component. So, you may have encountered a situation where the breaker didn't trip, and the relay's contact was damaged, where a master relay wasn't used. So, what should you do? In a situation where there's no master relay, and the breaker didn't trip, you must conduct a mandatory tripping test on the relay. The relay has a tripping function built into it. So, you should perform the tripping test. Friends, you may have seen English electric relays in old panels. This is the front view, and this is the back view. Okay? In the front view, you'll see this flag. When the master relay operates, this white flag will lower. You'll see a red flag here, indicating that the master relay is operating. To reset it, there's a push button that needs to be pressed upwards. If this flag falls, this will raise it. So this flag is reset, and this can sometimes cause problems. Sometimes you raise the flag, but it stays there. If it doesn't come back down, what happens is that when the relay operates, the flag won't come down. That lower flag will get stuck on the button below. It will get stuck on that. So, because of this, these relays sometimes won't operate. So, if you have this relay here, you have to check that the reset button here should come back down after resetting. Friends, this is a modified drawing I made of it. Here, number 9 is negative, and 13 and 12 are positive. And here, you have to check which volts your relay is for, 110 or 220. So, its nameplate will indicate which volts you need it for. Okay, is it 110 or 220? If its range is high, you can use both. So, whether it's positive or negative, we always know where we'll get the negative, from the panel. We take it directly from the panel. The positive will come from any of our relays, all the relays installed in the panels, some differential, some bookhole, some overcurrent affected relays. Okay? So, the positive of all its bow outputs will be found here when it operates. So, all the relay connections for tripping outputs will be found in the positive. Okay? So, as soon as it comes, the positive coil will operate. When the coil operates, the contacts here will change over. These two contacts are common contacts. That means one will be common, and you can use either NC or no. Okay, there will be 3 common contacts here. You can use 11 or 4 NC and no depending on your requirements. And 67 is individual, and 1415 is also individual. In part 3, I'll cover how you can test a master trip relay without a DC supply, without any testing. I'll show you a simple method to thoroughly test your master trip relay to see if it's working. After that, we'll talk about Earl relays. We'll discuss the logic of the master relay, which logics and interlocks we can use. Right? There are different kinds of logic and different kinds of interlocks. So, in which interlocks can we use the master trip relay to improve our protection system? Friends, in the next video, we'll address the remaining questions and technical fundamentals. And if you have any doubts or don't understand something in this video, please comment. Share it with your friends and colleagues. Learn yourself. Help others learn too. Keep learning, keep growing. Thank you. Thank you very much, friends.